talk about it. Talk about it. Let's 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 talk about it. Talk about it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Let's Talk About It, the show that provides you with the facts about any issue or situation that we believe is worthy of your attention. And today, we want to turn your attention to the happenings within Kinloch, that is the City of Kinloch in Missouri. For those of you who may not know, in 1948, the City of Kinloch became the first incorporated all-black city in Missouri. It lies on the outskirts of St. Louis County and is surrounded by 3 other municipalities, such as Berkeley, Ferguson, and Coo Valley, and on the 4th side is the St. Louis Lambert Airport. Now, the sitting mayor and current Board of Aldermen over the past 10 years have focused all of their energies on revitalizing and rebuilding a community that has been beleaguered by previous administrations' corruption, illegal dumping, and the abandoned noise abatement real estate debacle for St. Louis's Lambert Airport, which resulted in the loss of over 60% of the city's population. No good deed goes unpunished. As recently as January of this year, the City of Kinloch leadership hosted at the City of Kinloch's new City Hall building a Rebuilding Kinloch community meeting, during which various organizations were brought in to discuss beneficial developments for the City of Kinloch and its citizens. Unfortunately, the meeting was hijacked by people spouting unsubstantiated claims and making accusations, and it would appear, based on just a little bit of research, that this effort was spearheaded by a Miss Kayla D. Moore, per her flyer posted on her Facebook page. The accusations that were levied against the City of Kinloch's leadership are as follows. Number 1, the current mayor and board of aldermen for the last 10 years have barred lawfully eligible qualified candidates from their elective offices. 2, the current mayor and board of aldermen do not have transparency or financial transparency regarding the city's finances. And 3, the current mayor and board of aldermen have not been engaged in addressing illegal dumping and cleanup. Now, though these accusations were levied at the current mayor and board of aldermen, there has been no formal notification or submitted complaint made indicating that there has been any refusal to respond to or process a transparency request under the Missouri Sunshine Law. If anyone leveling these accusations would have put in just a little bit of effort, they would have been able to dispute their own accusations before making their incorrect public proclamations. Despite the valiant efforts of the current administration, there have been those dissenters who, instead of trying to find ways to assist in the rebuilding, the redevelopment, and revitalization of the City of Kinloch, they simply want to tear down and assassinate the character of the sitting mayor and the Board of Aldermen. So, let's get into it. Let's talk about accusation number 1. The current mayor and board of aldermen for the last 10 years have barred lawfully eligible qualified candidates from their elective office. The mayor and board's response is simply this. The current mayor and board of aldermen for the last 10 years have not barred lawfully eligible qualified candidates from elective office. Put a caveat here. There are rules to running for a public office, an elected office. City, state, local, there are rules governing this. And the rules are clear. There are guidelines governing how you enter your hat into the ring for an elected public office. These rules include documentation such as sworn legal affidavits. The rules also provide methods to challenge one's candidacy, as well as the process to remove someone who does not meet eligibility standards for candidacy. Now, much of this is in the Missouri Revised Statutes also, but the Supreme Court has recognized that each state may prescribe the qualifications of its officers. That is located in the case of Sugarman v. Dugal. Also, the Missouri Constitution has provided reasons for the removal of any state official. Section 1 indicates all elective executive officials of the state shall be liable to impeachment for crimes, misconduct, habitual drunkenness, willful neglect of duty, corruption in office, incompetency, or any offense involving moral turpitude or oppression in office. Now, there are a number of other rules which you'll see listed upon your screen, and if you want to look this information up, it is available online as well. One of the main points is what we see in the states on the information of the Peach v. Goins case, that the public is entitled to the service of public officials who are of the highest character. It is of paramount importance to the public to have confidence in the honor and integrity of public officials. Society expects much from its public officials, and rightly so. And as a candidate deciding to enter the race for any elected office, there are official documents that you must sign concerning your eligibility to enter the race for an elected office. There are sworn affidavits, which you sign under penalty of perjury, which is a Class 1 election offense if you lie on a document. Now, let's turn back to the individuals that this accusation must be referring to. That would be Betty McRae, Darrell Williams, and Andre Green. Now, first, there was Betty McRae, who in 2015 was elected to office. Unfortunately, she was suspended before she could take office and impeached from her position due to issues of moral turpitude. Now, the issues against her involved accepting and occupying property that was not or should not have been provided to her by the previous administration of Keith Conway. Now, Ms. McRae, attempted to fight this. She requested a TRO, or temporary restraining order, and an injunction against the board's decision to impeach her. The St. Louis Circuit Court agreed with the board's decision and rejected her request, upholding the board's ruling. Then there was Darrell Williams, who, though he was elected, turns out owed taxes at the time he signed his affidavit to throw his hat into the ring. A judge also upheld the Board of Aldermen's decision to suspend and impeach Mayor Williams.
The importance of all this is making sure that we respect and enforce the election process.
That is Christopher Bent, the Kinloch City Attorney, after his victory in court. After a hearing that lasted more than an hour behind closed doors, Judge Michael Jameson ruled against Williams' request for a temporary restraining order
and remove him from office. And then during the 2019 election, there was another candidate, Mr. Andre Green, who ran for an elected position. Now, he was advised at the time that he was ineligible to hold public office in the city of Kinloch. Now, this was due to a criminal conviction on his background check. Mr. Green attempted to run again in 2023, despite knowing that he was ineligible. His candidacy was challenged by the Board of Aldermen, and a judge agreed with the Board of Aldermen once again. Now, let's look at accusation 2. The current mayor and Board of Aldermen do not have transparency or financial transparency. This is regarding the City of Kinloch's finances. Now, it should be noted that prior to the current administration, the City of Kinloch was headed by Mayor Keith Conway from about 1999 until sometime in 2011 when he was convicted of crime. Now, in the spirit of transparency and accountability, we have to look at history. So from 1999 to 2011, under Mayor Conway's administration, along with the aldermanic board president, Macavis Peoples, the City of Kinloch did not file any of the mandatory financial reporting as required by Missouri law. One caveat, the Andalora Marshall administration did, however, submit a financial filing on October 28th of 2011, which was submitted by then City Manager Eric Mason, and this is based upon an official Sunshine Law response from the Missouri Office of State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick. Prior Mayor Keith Conway did not maintain financial transparency by failing to file the mandated financial reporting and the statutory reporting for the municipal government and its citizens. A number of things happened while Mayor Keith Conway was in office. He engaged in a number of legislative acts that were supposedly for the development and redevelopment of the city of Kinloch. Resolution 960A for the redevelopment of the property in the Northeast Kinloch area. There's Resolution 960B for redevelopment of the property remaining outside of the North Park industrial area in the city of Kinloch. There's Resolution 961 for the development of the new municipal complex for the city of Kinloch. There's Resolution 985 for the redevelopment of the property remaining outside of the North Park Industrial Area in the City of Kinloch, then another Resolution 986 authorizing the rehab of Kinloch City Hall and the Kinloch Police Department building, which never actually seemed to have happened. The prior mayor, Keith Conway, and his administration, for the purposes of development and redevelopment of the City of Kinloch, did request and receive a total of $2,174,592.81 by way of checks from the St. Louis County Economic Commission. You can see those checks on file here. There are no financial reporting records that reflects where these monies went, as required by the Missouri Auditor's Office. To date, the current mayor and board of aldermen has been unable to locate, though vigorous pursuit has been engaged, where the over $2 million of public taxpayer monies went under the previous administration. The board of aldermen has been unable to locate any records of the resolved development, redevelopments, or rehab projects ever being completed. Remember, the current board of aldermen inherited a city of Kinloch in total financial ruin, bruised by years of malfeasance, mismanagement, and corruption under the Conway administration. A cursory assessment of the city of Kinloch in late 2012 status conducted by the leadership revealed that the city was on the verge of financial collapse due to theft of city funds, unauthorized vendor payments, unauthorized property conveyances, legal battles and resulting in default judgments against the city, lawsuits for wrongful termination, allowing known drug dealers to run illegal businesses in the city, friends and family members of officials allowed to live in city-owned apartments without paying rent to the city. Overall mismanagement of funds, no accountability or checks and balances in place to secure and properly manage city monies. City's municipal insurance through MoPerm canceled due to non-payment owing over $40,000. Not able to locate the $2 million of TIF funding for the city, nor where and what projects were completed using such monies. Then there was one of the oddest things that Conway did, which was a 25-year, 100% tax abatement, which served no benefit for the city of Kinloch and our citizens. And what that means is a developer was given a 25-year window to where they did not have to pay any taxes to the city of Kinloch. And that is how the city of Kinloch obtains revenue to operate, is taxes on businesses, on real estate, etc. That is not owned by the city, but is within the city that they tax those businesses on. One of the other things was that the city trash pickup was canceled due to the city's non-payment of its tab. Now, as you can see, there's a long list. Subsequent to this discovery, the city of Kinloch was the subject of various news reports in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, which is public record, KMOV, Journalistic Investigative Reports by then Craig Cheatham, public record.
Stephen Sharon, corruption and mismanagement have plagued the city of Kinloch for years. Now new allegations about missing millions, a crooked former mayor, and the development that never happened. This rundown building in the heart of Kinloch was supposed to be developed into a government center. 5 years ago, Kinloch received $2.3 million in TIF money, including these checks distributed by the St. Louis County Economic Council. A council spokeswoman says it was Kinloch money approved by an intergovernmental commission. The money was supposed to pay for the project, but it appears nothing happened to the building and grounds.
Then the indictment and prosecution and guilty plea of former Mayor Keith Conway. This is all on the public record. Since 2012, the mayor and the board of aldermen have opened communications with developers and associated partners for the development and completion of the Schnucks facility, which was started and completed. And that is the Schnucks distribution building in the city of Kinloch, Missouri. It's approximately 1 million square feet. This board, by way of civil action, gained access to tax increment financing funds, or TIF funds. They opened communication with the Economic Commission, developers and associate partners, and accomplished the completion of the new current City Hall building at a cost of approximately $1.1 million. All monies from this effort, as proper, went directly to the promised project for the city of Kinloch and its citizens. Now, development has been a struggle, but there are ongoing accomplishments. The North Park Business Park, which it was initiated by the construction of the SNCC Distribution Center, but also includes the Pepsi Distribution Center, a Cirque 360 logistics facility, and the Special School District Bus Depot in the City of Kinloch. The current Board of Aldermen has secured a $750,000 grant from Congresswoman Cori Bush and the Office of HUD to renovate Dunbar Gardens. They've worked with the St. Louis County Trustee Office to obtain ownership of property for economic development, achieve the return of real estate stolen from the City of Kinloch, supported the renovation of Kinloch Park at no cost to the residents, engaged with new partners to assist with the redevelopment of the City of Kinloch, produced a balanced budget year after year, properly managing the limited resources the City of Kinloch does have while exploring every effort to acquire resources for the benefit of the city and her citizens. They've also paid down in excess of $100,000 in past debt liabilities as a result of prior administration failures. They've consistently filed the statutorily mandated financial reports to the Missouri State Auditor, as well as municipal financial reporting as per revised statutes for the state of Missouri, 79. They've secured financial transparency for the municipal funding and resources, worked vigorously to restore and build broken relationships with neighboring communities. They have safeguarded the community from scandal and bad press by operating with integrity. The City of Kinloch debt level has been drastically decreased and continues the downward trend. Accounting controls were developed and implemented to assure that the city's accounts are not fleeced and there's no repeat conduct as with the previous Conway administration for the city. This board and mayor invites the public to test the veracity of this statement by contacting Brent Bayer, Director of Administration, Office of State Auditor. And then the board also signed into law specific checks to assure the citizens that no mayor or alderperson will ever act with impunity and will abide by the laws in proper fashion. Also, this Board of Aldermen has, as required, caused to be filed all the mandated public financial statements consistent with Missouri law as far as financial transparency and accountability are concerned. Though this Board of Aldermen inherited a city in total financial ruin, this board has accomplished a great deal and development has flourished and continues. But let's turn ourselves to the third accusation. The final accusation levied at the City of Kinloch leadership is that the current mayor and Board of Aldermen have not been engaged in addressing illegal dumping and cleanup. I'll let the clips speak for themselves.
The vision is to have Kinloch be reborn.
First of all, I would like to give grace to God, because if it wasn't for God, none of this would have been possible. And I would like to thank all of the big time companies, all the volunteers, all the companies that are donating every machinery to get the job done. And thank you for everyone.
So thank you to everyone who has come together to make this happen.
And I'm really feeling hopeful about the future of Kinloch for the first time in a very long time.
The current City of Kinloch leadership has communicated and contracted with the St. Louis County Police Department for municipal patrol, as well as the development of law enforcement strategies to address illegal dumping. They've installed surveillance cameras to thwart illegal dumping and therefore capture individuals on film, which can be pursued later. They've organized with the Urban League and Regional Business Council to conduct the biggest cleanup effort in more than 30 years. This board has been and is actively engaged in attempts to address the illegal dumping in the city. So, when it's all said and done, despite the accusations, the current mayor and board, the city's leadership, the administration, has tirelessly worked for its served community and still does.
Let's talk about it. Talk about it. 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 Let's talk.